All right, well, welcome you guys. Tonight, I'm so excited to be teaching you something that is super dear to my heart. This is something that for years I had never been taught the importance of self-care and just being able to bring joy into your life. And what does it take? So many of us, especially if you're watching us live or you're watching the replay, it's like I think most of us pour from an empty cup because we're running around trying to make sure everybody has got what they need, and we're the last ones to really take care of ourselves. So tonight, I'm going to invite you to this question. Are you ready to have more joy in your life? And, I love this quote also. Self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. And as just like I started at the very beginning, it's kind of like, okay, how much is left over at the end for us to be able to have that joy and that peace and that caring and all that love that surrounds us because we're often giving it to everyone else. So I want you to take just a second, and I'd love for you to just on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your joy? Like 10 being, I'm so excited, life is amazing, everything is wonderful, and I'm ready to just jump out of bed every morning. And 1 being, I think I'll just pull the covers up over my head and stay in bed. And I think that it's important to find out where we are in that joy because we can always improve it just a little bit. And one of my favorite coaches taught me long ago, it's like finding joy helps us from being in burnout. It helps us from feeling like, no one cares or that we are being left behind or there's not enough time for us. And sometimes finding joy can be the simplest things. So as we're discussing some of our things tonight, I'm going to just go through and hopefully inspire you guys on the importance of finding joy and what do we need to do? So the first question is, what do we need to weed out? You guys, in some cases, having more joy in our life or having more, fun and happiness and is who do we need to spend less time with? Like, who are the people or what are the things that might bring your energy down? So for me, it's been a few years now. I gave up watching any kind of news. Like, I'm just over it. I don't watch news because number one, usually it's nothing but negativity. And there's not a whole lot that I can do about it. So I've eliminated that from my presence. So I've replaced it with something that I love so much more. And we'll talk about, how we can identify the things we need to weed out. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're hanging out with somebody who's super negative, right, Deb? I can see you going, uh-huh. Yeah, I can hear that. And in some cases we work with them or we live with them and we can't really get rid of them. However, we can spend less time with them and we can also try to just have more positivity around them. Recently, I've got a gal who works for me. She's amazing. And, she's taken a situation that was a little bit sticky and a little bit negative. And she went home one day, she came back and she said, you know what? I get to be the kind one. I have no idea what's going on in her life. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make it more pleasant and to be kinder to her. And I thought, what a great, outstanding thing to do. So pulling the weeds might be also things are how have we thought about ourselves? What's the mind chatter that we are constantly, maybe knocking ourselves down or saying unkind things? There was a time when I was probably really good at being the first one to beat myself up about something that no one else needed to point it out because I had already knocked me up. So it's like, um, and I think that over the years, one of my favorite things is being able to learn that it's okay to not be okay. And it's also okay to have a difficult time or maybe get frustrated. But what's not okay is taking it out on other people or not. And when we know better, we get to do better. So all that weeding, right? And it is springtime. And so just think of some of the things that we get deep into the roots and we get to clean up that so that we no longer have it. Now, the next question here is, what do I need to do to be nourished? What does nourished mean to you? So weeding out, getting rid of the weeds is like we're getting rid of it, right? So then when we have those flowers, or we have ourselves, or we have our thoughts, we have our mindset, we have the people that we're hanging out with, what do we get to nourish? And then what are some of the things that we have to do for that? Okay, so the first thing I want to point out, and I love this, this is a card that I created for an event that we had a little while ago, and it's about heal. So first, you must heal yourself, and then you're able to share what you know and how you are with others. And I love these essential oils that are listed here. If you guys have your cameras out, this would be a great picture to have a screenshot of wild orange. I mean, how many of you guys love wild orange? Not only does it smell amazing, as soon as you open up that bottle, it's like peeling back the rind. You can just smell that burst of abundance, and it's full of life, and it's happy, and it's joyful. And I yet to find anyone that I put a drop of wild orange in their hand and they don't smile. And I love that for that reason. So if you know somebody, or maybe this is something, one of the weeds that you want to remove, and that is fear, or maybe it's scarcity. Sometimes it's, well, you know what? Well, what if that happens? Or what if that doesn't happen? Or what if we don't have enough? And if we can just get past and trust that everything will work out for our best, and where our mind goes, or what we think about, happens. And so mindset is so important. Ylang ylang is a really great oil. If you guys have not experienced this one yet, I love it because it's that inner child oil. And this month, or this week, we have an essential oil called ylang ylang. No, sorry, jasmine, which is like the superpower of ylang ylang. So ylang ylang helps us to be playful. It helps us to go back into that time when we were young and carefree, and we just laughed and we had fun, and we didn't carry all of those responsibilities and all of the what ifs and things. And so when we want to have more of remembering, it's all going to be okay. Especially because if you have experienced emotional trauma or life trauma, or maybe someone that you love has had that, then wouldn't it be nice if they could just inhale that great smell and be able to exhale some of that stress and that worry that they carry on them? You guys, I'm going to skip to cedarwood. Cedarwood is the one that helps to bring us into together. It brings in community and helps us to be a part, and the feeling of belonging to something more. How many of you guys have experienced feeling like you're all alone? Like maybe it's all up to you to get the journey done, or maybe you're feeling like, gosh, all my friends and people I know are off having fun, and here I am. Cedarwood brings us together, and helps us to be reminded that we get to ask for that love, we get to ask for that support. um, and I'm just going to throw out there, sometimes I prefer to do things by myself, and that's okay too. But being able to ask for others' support is also really important. Okay, now we're going to skip on to the next one. We've got a lot to cover tonight. So this chart, you guys, is another one that I would love for you to take a screenshot of. And so it has self-care in the middle, because all of these different things have to do with our self-care. And what our goal is to create more joy, more life, more happiness, to where, when that alarm goes off, we want to jump out of bed. And you might have one of these areas. So if you look at each one of them, and we're not going to take the time to go through each one and go deep into it, but it's like, I'm sure that there's parts of this where you're going, oh yeah, I'm an 8 on this one, I'm a 7 on this one, I'm a 10 on that one. And you might look at some of them and go, gosh, I really need to work on experiencing more movements, better sleep, and be more mindful in what I eat. Because the fuel that we're putting in our bodies is actually live energy that helps to give us that joy and that happiness, and more than anything, energy, so that we want to go out and do more things. And so I love the awareness of, how can I take something, if I'm at that scale again from 1 to 10, maybe it's a 6, how can I move it from a 6 to a 7? And so sometimes it's just the mindset of being intentional of, I'm going to take, and I'm going to be more mindful on having more fun. How many of you guys need more joy in your life? Need to laugh a little bit more, right? Everybody's raising their hands. It's like, okay, it's like, yeah, we need to have that joy. So what can we do to bring more joy? Okay, so now we're going to go into nourishment. So first we're going to target the soul and the mind. because that is such an important thing. When our mindset is straight and when our soul purpose is being filled, we feel better. We show up better. We're different around people. And I'm just going to go into the way that we start our day determines the kind of day that you will have. There was many, many years, you guys, when I would just jump out of bed and I would hit the pavement and I would just have all these things and I would be, and it seemed like if I were running behind it all day long, I was running behind. And I always felt like I couldn't catch up. And so when I learned the practice of having a morning ritual or a morning routine, even if it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can do each one of those things for only a minute or two, and it will completely change the way that your day unfolds. And then there's many times when if you are running late and you've got to get going, or maybe halfway through the day you're going, okay, I just feel so overwhelmed. I don't even know what to do at this point. Start over. Give yourself a little time out. It only takes 2 or 3 minutes to be able to come back to this place where we're going to talk about, and the importance of it is getting reset. So the first thing that happens for me before I even get out of bed in the morning is my is prayer, meditation, time for reflection, whatever your practice is, and they're all right. They're all whatever it is you want it to be, it can be. And like I said, it can be 1 or 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be very long. Of course, I grab my balance oil first, right? It's just like, and it goes on my feet, and you guys, and I put it on my hands, and I take a deep breath. And this happens before I do anything else. And what I love about it is that it helps me be more connected. It helps me get grounded in my mind. And and most times, sometimes I'll get out of my bed and I'll sit next to it or I'll lay on the floor. And one of my favorite things is to lay on the floor with my legs propped up against my bed. So I'm like in an L shape. It's this really great stretch, right? And then while I'm there, I can do my prayer or and meditation. I don't know about you guys, but meditation is something that I've had to practice. My mind is one that has just been so busy and so full and just all over the place to where I would start with, gosh, if I can get a 1 minute where my mind cannot concentrate on all the chaos and yet find peace, it's really awesome. You guys, another great thing to do first thing in the morning is to have a reflection of, what do I want my day to be like today? Like, what am I grateful for? Gosh, in a lot of cases, like, gosh, I'm just grateful to wake up. Thank you again for my, being able to have breath and to wake up. And especially over time, practice has been able to be, I'm grateful because I know it could always be worse. It can always be worse. And I'm grateful to get to go through and grow through some of the different things. I also love to grab my Serenity, you guys, and I love the two of them together. I don't know about you, but it doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime, middle of the daytime. I love reaching for my Serenity, and I love Serenity and Balance together. It's often when I will take and put a couple of drops of both of them in my hand and just breathe it in, and then I'll just rub it across my chest or wear as perfume. And this has been such a favorite that we've actually created a roller blend. If you've got our new recipe book, you'll find it. It's called Relaxin'. We also have lots of different blends in there, you guys, that can help with this, just calming down the mind. Now I'm going to talk about vetiver for just a second, because a lot of times we'll look at vetiver and they'll go, oh my gosh, it smells like dirt or it smells like the earth. And I love this essential oil so much for two reasons. Number one, if you or anyone you know has experienced a lot of emotional trauma, or you have just had, PTSD for some reason or another, this magical little essential oil is amazing, and a little tiny bit goes a long ways. It's a little thicker, so what I recommend, and Diane has given great tips of putting a dropper top on top of it, or I'll just, as a matter of fact, this is what's next to my bed, is I've taken the stopper out of it and I just have the bottle there. So at night I open up the lid, I put my finger on it, I tip the bottle over, and then I've got that little tiny bit, and I usually rub some of it off onto the lid because I only need a little. And then don't judge me, I'll put it on my tongue. or I'll put it on the back of my neck. And you guys, I can do this first thing in the morning. Last night, I woke up and I had the most crazy, vivid, wild dreams that were just all over the place. And when I told my husband, he's like, gosh, you must be feeling a little overwhelmed right now. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's exactly. So, what do I need to do first thing before I start my day? I need to get centered. I need to be completely present. Okay, now we're going to skip into the next part, which is our mindset. So, going back to, after we've had our meditation, our prayer, and our reflection, then we can, open up our mind to what do we want to experience today? And a lot of times I will pick either a devotional of some kind or I'll have a podcast. Sometimes I'll just go outside and listen to the birds sing and sit in the sun for, 5 or 10 minutes. If it's snowy outside, then I'll just look out the window. But I try to surround myself with something super positive. And 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 a lot of times, you guys, I'll write at least 5 to 10 things in a little journal that I leave right next to my bed of the things that I'm grateful for. And what's interesting about gratitude listing is even in the days that seem a little sticky or a little overwhelming and things, when you look at it and you reread some of those things that you've written, it's a great reminder of what you do have to be grateful for. And I think we can look at, gosh, I was here that, last year, and this is when I will say comparison is not the thief. And that is, gosh, look how much I've grown, especially if you're flipping through some of those gratitude listings and things. It's just a really great reminder. I also love to, wake up first thing in the morning and it's like, I love my life. Like I'm so grateful and thankful for everything that I have. And then I also practice thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I visualize seeing that my day is going to play out even better than expected. When you see yourself loving your life, it makes it so much easier to just jump out of bed and get going. Again, I'm normal just like you guys. I mean, I'm just like, I get to practice it. There's days when I'm like going, okay, I really am going to have to look hard to find something today to get me going. But it's amazing how when I have that mindset, I can. Okay, so then visualizing, how do you want to see your day? Do you want to see it full of joy and happiness? And maybe like sometimes if I know I've got something coming that might be a little different, then I see how I want it to play out. And there's so much power in just thinking about it, knowing that it's going to be good. And I'm just going to throw out there another reminder that if you think it's going to be awful, guess what? You're probably going to experience something awful. What I have discovered with this practice is even when things are a little difficult, when my mindset is, I'm super grateful, it's so much better than it would have been had I just been in it's going to just really stink. Okay, I'm going to go into wild orange. The wild orange is so full of abundance again. Like we talked about it already. You'll see these oils come up often because it helps to remind us to be playful and joyful and creative. And gosh, what can I do? Like, what can I do instead? What would be a better scenario than what I've been experiencing? Or if I've got a conversation coming up, it's like, how can it be good for both? Breathe is another one that I want to remind you guys of. When anybody, like I love it, right before I left to come to work tonight, I was like, my husband was doing some things. And I said, okay, stop, just take a second, put your hands out. Here's a couple of drops of breathe, put it in your hands, breathe it in. And I want you guys, next time you take your breathe out, I want you to put it in your hands and really inhale and exhale with intention. I want you to exhale out all of the old stickiness, all of the things that are no longer serving you, or things that have happened in the past, or whatever is coming in, whatever you've just experienced. And when you take that deep breath in, I want you to breathe in all the new things, all the fresh new stuff of abundance and happiness and joy, and just fill your lungs and fill your heart with everything that's good. With breathe, some of the emotions that are supported are feeling loved. feeling supported, and open to what else is possible. What else can we have and experience? And then Davana is one that is available right now. If you're listening to this replay and it's not April 17th through April 25th of 2025, you've missed out on it. Davana is really great because it's a blend of essential oils that changes according to your own personal chemistry. So each person who puts it on, it will smell different. Some it's a little bit sweeter, and some it's a little softer, almost musky smelling. People have really loved it. What I love it for is it helps open up that creative mind. It helps us to feel like we can trust all the things that are happening around us, that things are happening for us. It also reminds us to be flexible. How many of us sometimes we might just be able to say, you know what, maybe I could be a little bit more flexible on that. I don't have to have it my way all the time. And maybe being open to something different. How many of you guys have gone into a situation where you've experienced something different and you're going, gosh, that's actually really good. Like that's a really great thing. And so it just teaches us all the time. And plus it also brings that passion to us. Passion oil would also be another really great one. If you find yourself waking up in the morning going, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, get that passion out, put it on and say, you know what? I am ready for it. Let this ignite me and let me get going and do all the fun things. Okay, so some of the things, these are two of my favorite ways to have those constant reminders. I love diffusing. I diffuse all day long, every single day. I actually leave a diffuser running in my house so that when I walk in the house at night, it smells great and I can't wait to get in there. I diffuse next to my bed. How about you guys? Like I diffuse in my car, I diffuse all over the place because that's a constant reminder of what do we want to experience more of or less of. And then also on the right-hand side, another one from our recipe book is you guys can create a fragrance that, and we have, I'm going to go to the next one. We have a bunch of calming diffuser blends on here, whether it's, you know, and I want you to remember that just because it's a nighttime blend, think of how you can use it during the day, especially in situations like if you've got a bunch of rowdy kids coming over, or maybe you've got kids that are upset or fighting, any of these blends will work for calming down that area. If you're getting ready to go into a really tense meeting, or maybe there's a lot of stress going on or a lot of emotions that you know are going to be happening, well, pick one of these blends like Balance and Serenity and Juniper Berry, the nighty night one. That would be amazing for being able to calm down an office area, right? And so they're not necessarily going to make you go to sleep. However, I love how flexible and versatile essential oils are because they can work equally during the day and at night. And then here's also just a picture of Melissa. Melissa is one of my favorite essential oils for uplifting my mood and my emotions, especially if you feel like you're going through a heavier time in your life or maybe a heavier situation. I love to take Melissa. I'll put a drop of it on my thumb. I'll place it on the roof of my mouth. And it's really, really effective of just bringing that high vibration, that burst of light. And pretty soon I'm going, okay, yeah, I can handle it. And a lot of times, you guys, as you're experiencing these or you're sharing them with your friends and family, is they won't even know what happened. Like they'll just all of a sudden go, gosh, I wasn't even, you know, I was over it. In the picture with the little girl in the bubble, this is truly one of my favorite things, especially when working with people who feel like they're empaths and they get negativity or they can feel negativity off of other people or in situations. Have you ever walked into a room and felt something's off? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but there's something that's off. And so I love this bubble spray. And I've got the recipe, I think, coming up in a slide or so. But you guys, it's just like you make it up, you shake it. And what we teach is to just spritz it over the head. And then it's like all of that amazing high vibration essential oils are coming down and raining on you. And it's like washing it out and getting rid of it. Now, the mindset part of it is we get to believe and we get to anchor into And, you know, whatever your beliefs are, whether it's God or whatever, it's like that higher power is partnering with essential oils to help to support us, and our minds get supported. And when our minds are supported, we feel supported and our souls light up and we're just showing up differently. Okay, now we're talking also still about nourishment. And you guys, if you have gotten the Rose Duet, it's a limited time offer. It's while supplies last, it's 75% sold out right now. Hopefully we'll be able to still be able to get it for a Mother's Day or a Friend's Day, or you guys, with Mother's Day coming up, and I usually don't like to talk about holidays during this, but anytime you want that extra nourishment, there's no higher vibration in love and feeling loved than Rose. Rose is that huge hug that is in the bottle, and they've put it in a mist, which is amazing. So I've been putting on my makeup, and then after it's on, I'll mist my face with it. And it just feels so good and so fresh and so invigorating to my skin. It also will help hydrate it and soothe that out. And then we also have a moringa rose serum. Now, you guys, so I had some gals try it this last weekend, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, that actually really smells like a flower, like a rose." And it's surprising today when you go to the flower shop or you go to the, you know, nursery where they have all the flowers and the potted plants and things. There's a lot of roses that don't smell like roses anymore because they've modified them out of scent, right? So doTERRA goes to Bulgaria to source their roses, and it is amazing. I hope you guys were able to take some screenshots of this so you'll be able to come back and really take advantage of this essential oil. I have been putting a drop of the rose serum on my skin every morning. I love it. I also bought 4 sets of it so I won't run out because I love it so much. Okay. Oh, here's the recipe for luscious locks. So luscious locks is if you have any kind of scalp issue or hair thinning, or maybe your hair's just not happy. We put this blend together and it's absolutely amazing. I know there's a lot of people here who make it and use it on their for their luscious locks. One tip, and I think Danita's on here, I would want to share this with you, is she had gotten the rose spray, and she had been making this luscious locks in other bottles, and the stoppers or the little spray tops just don't last very long. And so she made hers in her luscious in her rose spray mist bottle, and it's amazing. And I bet it is because it's a really light fine mist, and she can just refill it over and over and over. All right, I want to point out a couple of the oils that are on here. Thyme is one of them. Thyme oil is really great for all kinds of hormones for men and women. Clary sage is another, so great for regulating whether you have them that are raging or very, you know, dormant. This is a great essential oil. Then we have nioli. So if you don't have access to nioli, you can substitute that for extra tea tree essential oil. Lavender, which is really great. So tea tree and lavender are both great for your scalp. Anything skin related, itchy, scratchy, irritation, those are really great. And rosemary. Rosemary is an amazing essential oil for hair growth. And what I love about it is it also helps with your memory. So when you're putting something onto your scalp, and you know, I'm just going to throw out there that there's a lot of times when we will you know, go to a department store or something and they're selling us some kind of product, and it has all these warnings and all these chemicals and all these dyes and all these things that we're putting on our head right next to our brain. And yet rosemary is actually one of the essential oils that is very good and for our brain and for our mind and for keeping our thoughts straight. So I just love that, how flexible they are and how nourishing they are for us. On the right-hand side, we have a hair mask. How many of you guys like doing a deep conditioner on your hair or your scalp? So this is one that would be really awesome. You can, I mean, here's the recipe. I'm not going to go over it, but I want to just remind you guys how easy and how simple these ingredients are. I love, love, love that when we are making products around here, everything from the vapor rub to the soothing goo to the hair mask, it's all product that you could pretty much eat if you want to. And that's the way it should be. As a matter of fact, I was telling somebody yesterday about a sugar scrub or a salt scrub for her feet because we're doing foot detoxes. And she's like, well, what can I do in between? And I said, coconut oil, sugar, and essential oils. You pick the essential oil that's going to best support your feet, whether it's, invigorating or soothing or calming or, for wounds or whatever. And I said, you can just mix it up. And I said, and the weirdest part about that is you can scrub it on your feet or you could put it in your coffee. Either one. You'll want to change your spoon when you do that, right? But I think it's so awesome that we can use these in so many ways. So when we're talking about nourishing our body, we're going to skip into MetaPower. You guys, our award-winning Advantage is absolutely outstanding. It is available in the original flavor, and we also have it in a yarrow palm, or no, not yarrow palm, in cherry pomegranate. Yarrow palm would probably not taste as good as the cherry one. So I'm super grateful for that. This is really great. And if you look here, our Advantage, which is our collagen, has 9 different types of collagen. Now, a lot of collagens that are out there on the market are really known for their hair and their nails, which we want, right? Especially if we're nourishing our body. That's, we want our hair to be healthy. We want our nails to be healthy. But you guys, this one goes way deeper. It has stuff in there that will help with our cartilage, with skin, with our brain. It helps with, I mean, you can see all the different things that it has. And I'm going to just point out here that it has no soy, no preservatives, it's non-GMO, it's dairy and gluten-free, and has no artificial sweeteners or flavors. You guys, when you really put this toe to toe with anything that's out there on the market, there is no comparison. And we don't have a comparison chart because ours stands above. And these are such amazing products. So I hope if you haven't tried it already, that you either reach out to the person who invited you here or just go in and get some. And you'll be so grateful and thankful that you started it. I have 4 boys, which I love them so much. And all of them take this, which I think is a little odd because most women are the ones who are looking for collagen. And yet these guys are using it every day because it helps with their muscle repair. It helps with, all the different things that they're looking for. Skin elasticity and firmness. I know that we've got a few people here who have taken pictures that, 10 years or not 10 years ago, a year ago, and then they'll take a picture now. And it's amazing to me that how much better and how much younger they look. And it's pretty incredible. So reach out and look into that. Okay, another one of our nourishments is going to be for our body is our foundational wellness. You guys, the longer that I take these products, the more in love that I am with them. I will not go without them. I not only love the taste, the VMG is a powder. So if you don't like taking pills, then no worry because you just mix it into some water and shake it up and you're good to go. It reminds me of like a pina colada. It's green and I love that it's bioavailable and bioretentive, which means that it's not only something that my body can absorb 100%, but it will do so for up to 8 hours. There is not another supplement on the market that stays in your body that long. Most everything that we put in our body leave our body very, very quickly. And so we also have PB Restore. I should have put the little PB Assist packets on here too, because they are definitely a customer favorite. You guys, and it has pre, pro, and postbiotics. They're also something that is easy for our bodies to absorb and be able to utilize. Most everybody's guts are a mess. And especially when it comes to mood, there's a big correspondence between our mood and our gut. So, and we have classes that go deeper into each one of these things. And then the omega plus, you guys, again, it's off the chart with all of the things that it does. It comes from the fresh, clear waters of the Nordic seas, and it's amazing. Again, this is a larger capsule. What I love about it is I will take 3 of them in the morning. I take 2 and swallow them so that they go to the rest of my body, but I take 1 and I chew it up in my mouth. Who here has a omega that they can eat and chew it up? Most people, the number one complaint that we get is it tastes like fish. I can't stand it. It's gross. And I'm happy to report that when you bite into ours, you taste like wild orange. It's like eating a little gummy bear or something. And it's just packed full of things that help with our brain function and our health. 100% of the people who have tried it have had a good result. That's pretty awesome. Okay. So to achieve something better, you need to be open to change. And you guys, this starts with feeding my mind healthy thoughts, being around people who who are practicing healthy routines, enhancing your morning routine. How are you starting your day? Are you willing to take, like 5 days and just say, okay, I'm going to give myself 2 minutes to get myself ready and to really get, my gratitude. What am I grateful for? What am I wanting to manifest today? Another thing is remember to inhale and exhale. You guys exhale what no longer serves you. There are plenty of things out there every single day that are not, exciting and good. Watch the news or listen to somebody talking about the news. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta let that out. I gotta really inhale the good, exhale what no longer serves you. Increase your hydration. If you really want to have more energy and feel better in your body, think of a wilted flower, right? 'Tis the season for spring, so I've got flowers all over the place on here today. But it's like when you are dehydrated, it's like a wilted leaf or a wilted flower. And as soon as you add electrolytes or hydration, magnesium, salts, and all those yummy things, your body is just plump and firm and happy again. So make sure you stay super hydrated. Increase your exercise and movement. You guys, I'm asking is like 5 minutes. Start the morning with 5 minutes. Walk around your car 5 times, or walk around your house or walk up and down the hall, but get some movement. And if you're already getting movement, increase it just a little bit. Take it up one level, just a little bit more. Your mind, your body, your health, and the way that you show up for others will completely change when you're doing these things. And then lastly on here, I'm going to say set a timer. You guys, if you need to set a timer for having your gratitude practice, maybe it's set a timer during the day to take a walk. I have 3 or 4 different timers on my phone. One of them says, stop, take a deep breath. You're doing a great job. The other one says, get outside. I mean, and and I have another one that says, create magic. And those as those alarms go off, it just reminds me of, okay, yeah, I got to create some magic. Am I doing that? Find some joy. What is it that you need to set your alarms for? Okay. Until a bucket, let's see, you feel, oh, well, that's a nice, you fill a bucket drop by drop. You clear your mind thought by thought. You heal yourself moment by moment. Love this quote so much because you guys, it just takes that intention, right? Just start. That's it. Just start. Okay, before we go, I gotta say we have only a few more days where we're getting 20% off. Everything's shown on the screen here. Some of them we were talking about tonight, like balance and serenity and vetiver. We've got the pomegranate advantage, our award-winning collagen, breathe drops. You guys, I love the breathe drops. Anytime I get ready to go for a walk or a hike or, just I'm doing whatever. Right before I started class tonight, I put a breathe drop in so that I'd be able to have my, my throat clear and everything working properly. Take a deep breath, Haley. Take a deep breath, right? Tea Tree, Divana. So you guys, this promotion is when you log into your office, and if you're new here watching the recording, have somebody help you. Make sure you're getting the link to get them at the wholesale price because it's 20% off wholesale. They're while supplies last, we've had a couple of things sell out. I think I can't remember. Kumquat is gone for sure, and there was one more that is like 70% sold out. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, get in there, get what you have or get what you need. Stock up, put them where you need them. And then here's how we order. I love the rewards program. I was able to turn in almost 400 points a week ago. I took advantage of the sell products. I bought Serenity on sale. I turned in nearly 400 points and it cost me $38. It's pretty cool, you guys. So you can earn starting at 10% and earn all the way up to 30% off. Those points just add up and you're able to turn them in for anything you want. The first time that you do a rewards order, if it's at least 100, you get this cute little thank you packet. It's like a sample pack. Anybody ever go to Costco and go, I wish I could try that first, or I wish I could try that first? Well, they put this little pack together that's shown in the middle, and it's some of their most popular products. And so it's a great way for you to sample and try. And I love everything about it. I love that you can earn points, you can get free shipping. There's so many things. All right. You guys, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's part of my nightly routine is being able to say thank you. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time to join us. I know that it's a lot of information, but this is how we learn. This is the only way we're going to learn. And our classes are going to be geared towards what are we going through, what are we growing through, and how can we best support you? All right, we're going to go ahead and open it up. If anybody has anything that they would like to ask as far as questions, or if you have any testimonials that you would like to share, we would love to hear them now. And of course, I did not look at the chat at all. So
Hey, Haley. Danita is asking where to find the sample pack, and I don't believe those are available for us to purchase, are they?
no, so that little sample pack is only earned, and it's the first time that you do a rewards order of 100. So I think because Danita, you've been a long hauler like me, uh, we don't get that sample pack. I will have one at the event that we're doing pretty soon, so you can come and see it if you'd like. But yeah, they're not available for purchase. Not yet, anyway. Great question.
However, she could always make up some of her own, if she doesn't know, you can get the sample deep blue box and the sample, I already forgot, toothpaste samples and whatever else is in there.
You know, what's interesting about the little samples that you can purchase is I almost always have one of each of them. And the reason I do that is because when I travel, I love to be able to just throw a couple of the toothpaste in my bag or, and so it's the PB Assist, the Deep Blue sample or Deep Blue rub, the a recharge, and then there's, I think, Serenity and Balance or something like that. Those would be the only thing that we wouldn't be able to purchase at this point. But you guys, if you're interested in that, Danita, you guys, anytime you have a recommendation, a suggestion, or something where you think it'd be super useful and helpful, email in to doTERRA at support@doterra.com and give them your recommendations. This is how we're getting some of the new things that we're doing. So one of my things that I suggested you guys is this. I'm like, we need a recipe card or something in the box when we get our order of what to do with what we have, and people can collect them. And then every time you get one of these things, I mean, on lavender, it has fizzy lavender bath bombs on the back and a QR code for a whole bunch more things that you can make. And this comes in your box with your rewards order. And you guys, those are just ideas that doTERRA is 100% open and willing to listen. Um, I'm going to say one thing about essential oil testers is over the years, they've had a few different kinds that they've offered to us. And people say, oh, yeah, we want them. And then they don't buy them. So it is an investment for doTERRA. So anyway, all right. Anybody else have anything, any questions, testimonials? Okay, well, I feel like I should share a testimonial. It's like, okay, which one?
I'm gonna share one too, so you go first.
Oh, was that Diane?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're ready, go, because I'm
Okay.
I'm going to be thinking of one.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to share what I've been sharing for a while because it's very profound. Um, if you, and even if you don't have mental health issues, that there's such a connection, and more research is coming out to prove it. There's such a connection between our gut and our brain. And so getting on that foundational wellness, that VMG plus, those omegas, and the PB, whatever PB you want, whether you want the little pixie sticks or you want to take another pill, it doesn't matter. They work. And our daughter, who has mental health challenges, is now completely off her meds and is just relying on our supplements. And that foundational wellness has been a game changer. So, had to share.
It's huge, you guys. And I know with Diane, she tried a lot of different things and a lot of different protocols. And one thing that's super important is you have to be willing to be consistent. Because if you're going to use something once in a while, then here's my little snarkiness, then you shouldn't use it at all. Don't start, right? Because if you want a long-term change, then you must be willing to do it on a regular basis. And I'm so grateful for that, Diane. I mean, what a huge thing, especially as a mama heart, knowing that your loved one is getting some support and not having all the side effects and things. And you guys, so for my story, there was a time when I was a bucket full of mess. That's how I would describe myself. And it was not the big things that would set me off and put me into a tailspin. It was the little things because I had learned over as a little girl to handle those big things, but it's like the little ones. And I would just, and so over time, gosh, my body just started to show up in a major way. And when I found doTERRA, I know it might sound weird, but it was like this godsend blessing to me, is being able to have something that could support me, that wasn't giving me all the nasty side effects that most over-the-counter or prescriptions give. And I would be the first one to go, is it even possible? And I used to say to my husband, you're going to think I'm nuts, but this is what's happening and this is what I'm feeling. And I feel like after about 3 months of being super consistent, I remember going to him and saying, I don't know if it's all in my head, but something has changed. Like I feel like this light has come on and I feel different. Like my mind is clearer. And he said, Haley, it doesn't matter if it's in your mind or not, just keep doing what you're doing. You guys, and now we're fast forwarding like 14 years, and I can continue to tell you stories. Like I could tell testimonials for the next 3 hours of just personal things that have not been little things, but that have been big things in our family. And I'm so grateful for doTERRA and and corporate and the way that they are so diligent in making sure that we have a product that is something that they can stand behind. The integrity of this company is huge. And so, okay, I could go on, but I'm going to go ahead and say, JLo, go ahead.
Okay, just a little wow in the same testimony just on Pat. Many of you know that his red blood cell count and his white blood cell count were deteriorating. They were going lower and lower over the past year and a half, and it wasn't going up. And since October, since getting back from convention, I put him on VMG and the frankincense baswala. And he is actually right now in January, we got the news that his numbers have climbed to normal range. And that was the only difference. So going from being afraid of having cancer to at that line where we're almost there, it's a good sign. So we're gonna look for results in July for the second set to see if there's any more improvement, and then he'll be cleared. So it's all good.
What a blessing. I mean, you guys, it's crazy. And there's a little late leap of faith. Is this going to work? And do we dare try it and see what happens? And I can tell you that because we hear so many stories just like this, and I think, JLo, you've had experience for your blood sugar too, right? And it's been amazing.
Yeah,
And
my blood sugar in the morning has dropped from in the 150s range to actually down to in the 90 range, or even actually at 100. So it's been amazing, but it's also being consistent and making that time. I haven't started my walking again, which I'm starting right now in just a second. But once that starts, I know it'll get even better.
what products do you contribute that to?
Um, I would more than likely say the Meta Power for sure, and just the consistency in using the VMG and lots of water.
Yeah,
Lots of water.
so good. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And is JLo using all of the MetaPower products or just a couple specific ones?
All the Meta Power, collagen and the pills, and then the beetlets, and I love the gum. I'm like
Okay.
Diane. I just go through that gum like crazy. And I hand it out like crazy too.
Love it. Good stuff. Sarah, did you have one? I thought I saw you unmute.
I always have one, but I always want other people to talk. Do you want a recent testimonial or do you want old stuff? What do you guys want?
Both. Go.
Okay. Well, let's talk about recent. So Levi, we went Haley knows all things. I talk to her as if she's my stepmom, but went to pick him up from school. He gets in the truck and both eyes are bloodshot, and I'm like, oh, mother of pearl. So we went to the doctor and he has pink eye in both of his eyes, and they're swollen, and they have the green and the yellow goobers and all the other things. And it was super neat. Again, I get to talk about my son. She asks, well, what is he taking? Is he on over the counter medications? And he says, what is over the counter medications? And it was just really neat. I had to explain that to him in front of her, and she's just smiling. And he said, no, I take doTERRA. And she says, okay, what do you take? And he said, well, I have a probiotic and I have an omega. And he just went on and on. And she said, so getting sick is not a thing for you. And he said, no. And he goes, I'm really healthy. This is weird. And he does this to his eyes. And so immediately, right when we got in the truck, I have On Guard wipes and we're wiping down all the things. And Jeremiah's freaking out. I'm like, it's going to be okay. And he said, do you have anything for me in your purse? Of course I do. So we put the balm on him, and so we had everything, but it makes me feel good. So talking about a mama heart. So Diane, I can relate to you because it really, really choked me up. I got in the truck and I said, I'm doing the right thing, because half the time you don't think you are. You think you're failing at everything and all the things. I am sorry I yelled at you before you got on the bus. Did I make your day terrible? And it was just really, really nice to hear that he knew the right things. He kind of chuckled, got in the truck, and both of them were like, all right, what are you going to hand us? We're ready for this. And so that was nice. So that's a great testimonial, because I know that those products are going to help him even on the drive home. I didn't really know what to use for pink eye because I didn't have it in my purse right away. I was like, oh, never have dealt with this before. But it was nice to know, like, the bomb, right, is one of the strongest protocols, and I always have that in my purse. And so it was ready to put on him because it's for infectious disease. And then my next one would have to be about myself. So I ran out of my Advantage before, or right after I got home from leadership. And normally I don't have a lapse, but because I take 2 a day and Luke was taking some, we just had a lapse in some of our Advantage. I was out for like 14 or 15 days. That's a long time for me. And I do take 2 because of my system. I don't have 10 organs, for those of you that are new here. And so I am aging 25 years faster internally than a normal person my age. And I can tell you guys, I started to hurt. My workouts that typically would not make me ache I was hurting really, really bad. I was having to take an Epsom salt bath every night. And I'm like, man, alive, if I'm aging that much faster. And then I realized I was actually out of my advantage. And it took probably 7 days to get back into my system. And just like that, I was completely different. My body aches, my tiredness, I'm in menopause. All of those symptoms, I guess you could call them, or ailments, were completely turned off. It was amazing.
Just
It's
a
ju-
really,
I-
really quick one. I was sitting with JB, a colleague of mine who is from the Philippines. He was suffering from gout at the beginning of last year. And just by chance, I had a little bit of MetaPower oil left in my bottle. And I just gave it to him and I said, try this. When he started taking it, the gout started to stop. And he also had a kidney stone at the time, and he passed the kidney stone without any problem just by starting the MetaPower in his water. He's also diabetic, and he's lost, I believe, like 35 pounds in a matter of a year, and that he started the MetaPower.
That is so exciting. So exciting. And, just speaking to things like shingles or gout or whatever, we definitely have protocols and essential oils that can be very supportive in some of those things. And yet when your body is out of balance, when you are stressed to the maximum, when you're not getting sleep, when you're not drinking water, when you're not getting movement, you're not getting outside, all of these different things, your body is in this 911 mode. And it's like all these different things, and where the weak parts are, or where the body feels neglect is where it's going to show up. And so then we get to support all the things. But so what do we get to do from here, you guys? Prepare for something better. So what I would love for you guys to do is buy yourself the flowers. Spend more time finding joy and laughter and fun. Be silly. Look up some jokes on social media or Google or something and laugh and have fun. You guys take that joy list and create a list. Like, what brings me joy? What fills my heart? What fills my soul? When I first had this assignment from my business coach, I was writing things like, when the kids eat their dinner, when they're all happy and they love it, all these different things. And she was like, nope, nope. And she just basically took her red pen and wrote lines through everything and said, no, this needs to be about you. What brings you joy? And you guys, these can be free things. This could be, reading out of your favorite book for 10 minutes uninterrupted. Well, what do you need to do to be able to do that? You might have to hide in your closet, right, Sarah? You might need to go outside and sit in your car. I don't know, but it's like, find things that bring you joy and that fill your soul, and do at least one or two of those things. And maybe it's not every day, but you could do it at least, maybe it's that timer thing that on Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you find something that brings you joy. And then if you really want to be extravagant, book yourself a massage, or whatever that brings me joy, or instead of turning left and going to work, go right and go to the canyon. Oh, wait, that brings me joy. And I've actually done that before. It's like, you guys find things that bring you joy, because when you feel like your cup is completely empty, it's because we have shown up, like the very first quote here. We've been showing up in service to everyone else, and we'll take whatever's left over. You matter. You are important. You are loved. You are worthy. And you get to be spoiled. Take time. Fit it in. Okay, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye, everybody.